Hey everyone, welcome back to the next installment of Dub. Drink Up, Burn Down, Steve Kwan, Paul Horn, Chad Narani. Today, we're just going to talk about whiskey and the price of whiskey, right? It's been going up so fast, and maybe specific ones though too. But before we get into that, along with our delicious whiskey, shout out to Nicole Chu, a colleague of Paul and mine actually, who recommended we get this Laddie, the Classic Laddie we're bringing out today, a single malt from the Islay region that seems to be having massive price increases, right? Like the Macallan 12 is sitting around like $80 for the single sherry cask, and it used to be $55. This thing, still around that $50 mark. Delicious. We'll get into it. We'll try it. We'll see what everybody thinks. But guys, what are we going to smoke with this delicious Classic Laddie?
Well, with this delicious classic, we're going to have a delicious classic of our own. What we got here, everyone, is Padron 4000. And today we have a Maduro wrapper. Usually we smoke the natural wrapper, but we're in for a treat. I've been aging this for about 6 months. So it's a Nicaraguan cigar. As you know, Padron's one of our, go-to. This is priced just right. It's about $13 a stick. Which is which is really, really good for Padron. And it's got a Maduro wrapper, and everything about this is Nicaraguan. Love the consistency, and that's what Padron's known for.
Yes, sir. It's pull smooth, like perfect draw. You can't honestly get better than this. Like nice hit, nice flavor, nice everything. So guys, try. Have you tried it yet?
Nope.
No.
This is the first time, guys. Nicole, it's their first time trying this. I just had it for the first time. She's been telling me to buy this stuff for months. I finally got it, and it's honestly it's going to replace Macallan 12 in my decanter.
Oh, don't you want to try it first?
I've already had it.
Oh, and you
it's
like
delicious.
it?
It's fucking delicious, man. They also have actually a very peated, because this is no peat. But if you like peated scotches, you want to get their peated. Is also
peat,
delicious.
I'm getting peat.
A lot of peat, actually.
I wouldn't say a lot, but I'm getting some peatiness.
Well, it's more than Oban.
Yeah.
Well, that's just me, though.
I think that's just you.
Are you getting peat?
I'm getting peat, too.
Okay. Yeah,
not that much, man. Wait till you try the other one. The other one would be like drinking a Lagavulin or Lafroig. This is nothing like that.
Oh, that's like the master of peatiness.
Correct.
No,
Lagavulin is like one of my all-time favorites.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So.
Come on, what you think?
Well,
I'm going to have to fast forward. They're so slow about this.
Let me give you my review. I'm a big single malt Scotch guy, and it's a little bit on the rough side, but maybe maybe the combination of the cigar. But we usually do well with cigar pairings with Scotch, but this time, I could see why you would like it. But I do taste a little bit on the peaty side, and also it's not as smooth, but I've only taken one sip. What about you, Paul?
This tastes like an entry-level Scotch, and that's where it's kind of priced at. So I think it's good for the taste. It's good for the price point for what it is.
Yep.
I don't know if I would put it. I think I would put some of the other ones ahead of it. I would still take a Lagavulin over it. It's about the same price.
For 60% more money. No, Lagavulin 16 is not $50.
That's true. Now, you would substitute this with your Macallan 12 based on price point.
Based on price, right. So the reason I drink so much Macallan 12, right, is because when it was $55, I consider it the best bottle of scotch you can buy for the dollar, right? I'd rather have the 21, right? But is it really worth 4 times the cost? No. 5 times the cost? Absolutely not. So it turns into the best bottle for the price that you can get, and that's what I loved about it. The problem is that the single sherry cask is now $80 at Total Wine if you want to buy that thing. And it used to be $55. Like, if you want to still get a $50 to $60 price, Macallan 12, you got to go get the double cask, which is actually using like a sherry cask and then a barrel bourbon, because bourbon, you have to done a brand new barrel every fucking time. And so they're basically blending it just because they can't keep the 12-year on their shelves, right? Like, there was a barrel shortage throughout COVID. Scotch came back into favor, like it became ultra trendy about a decade ago. And there just is not enough 12-year scotches anymore, right? You're seeing the same thing with bourbon, actually, too. It's not just scotch, it's bourbon, too.
No, this is a normal price phenomenon I've seen. I would definitely go through bourbon. I mean, I used to drink, Four Roses all the time, and it's like almost literally doubled in price since I first started drinking it. Larceny is another bourbon that I love that's like $25,
Yep.
and that's been creeping up, and that's going to continue to creep up to probably $45 in the next, year or so. So it's common to see it in the bourbons as they kind of, you get a new one out, it gains reputation, gains fanfare, and the prices increase.
Yep.
And we're kind of seeing that here.
But I'm wondering, because we just had a conversation about this. I noticed that my scotch, which is Oban, hiked up in price about $12, and you mentioned something that actually made sense, which is inflation.
Yep.
Everything has gone up.
Yeah, so like his Oban 14 went up about 15% in the last year to 2 years. And inflation's around 10%. Scotch a little bit more, price increase. I get that, but the Count 12, that's like a 50 to 60% increase in price over a 12 to 18 month period. Like it's nuts what it's done. Right? You saw bullet bourbon for a while, like as much as you could still find it in most stores for like retail. Restaurants were out of it. Like shout out like April at Bar Louie, shout out to Bar Louie. They couldn't even find it because they're not allowed to go buy it from the store. They have to have it brought in, and they had no bullet bourbon for weeks. Right? Like it's nuts to see it across the whiskey market.
Hey, still cheaper than a tank of gas.
Yeah, I mean, that's the truth.
That's a different topic.
So the question is, this why you've moved to wine? This guy all of a sudden has like 2 wine fridges, like 20
listen.
bottles on his kitchen table.
He's
trading in whiskey for wine.
It's funny
true.
you mention that because I'm kind of doing the same rotation myself. I've been on bourbon and scotch for the last 18 months, 24 months, and I'm coming back to red wine.
But when I do something, I go big. So that's what I did.
Buy in bulk.
That is very true.
But I will tell you this, okay? My buddy owns the original wine club in Tustin, Santa Ana.
Mm-hmm.
And so he invited me to a wine tasting kind of thing, what they do in the back. And he's got lockers and all that stuff. So absolutely. I mean, he introduced me to some really good wines because the idea was to bring my clients a couple bottles of wine, and they totally appreciate it. And, having somebody who really has a knowledge of wine and what type of wines has really gotten me piqued in terms of interest. And so, yeah, I went big, and I have now about 300 bottles of wine overnight.
Yep.
Not cheap either.
From 2 to 300. That's
pretty much
quite a jump, dude.
I didn't have 2. I had like maybe 6.
Sorry, 6. My bad. 294 bottles that you added. Go big
jerks.
or go home.
So
What's funny about this, and I'm probably the only one that's going to get this reference, but we keep calling it Laddie, right?
Yeah.
And it reminds me of the I'm aging myself here. Do you guys remember Fun Loving Criminals? They had a song called John Gotti. It was Lottie Dottie, Free John Gotti, Lottie Dottie, Dottie. So that song has been in my head since we started this episode because of the name calling it Lottie.
And you're the youngest one here.
I am.
Yeah.
Actually,
he looks the youngest. He looks the youngest because of the gray hair.
Well, that's because the hat's on. The hat's off. I don't look so young.
Hats off.
He might look the youngest, and he's actually the oldest.
He's actually the oldest.
Yeah.
Old head. Full head of hair. None of it's white.
That's not true. These guys. All right. So, what do you guys think about the smoke?
Smoke is delicious, guys.
You can't go wrong with Padrones, guys, and this is priced right.
This is
about $13. Come on.
If you haven't really experienced a Padron, this is an excellent starting point. For Padron, it's on the cheaper end, and it's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, check it out. Like honestly, for $12-13, man, like this is an easy everyday smoke.
I would put this up there with My Father, which is my favorite in that price range. I would put this up there with any of them, almost any of them.
And I will tell you, I'm getting used to this. It actually, I don't know what it was, but that first initial taste, not so good. Second, okay, and then I took a little bit of time. Now it's actually really smooth.
I'm telling you, if you like Oban
good.
and you like Macallan, like this is it's right in the middle.
I can taste similar characteristics, so I'm not gonna lie to you. It's it's how much is it?
Like $50-$55.
It's not bad.
Right, to save $30 on your bottle of Oban, it's a pretty good bottle right here.
For sure.
Yeah. Anyways, guys, if you haven't tried it, definitely worth a try. Right. Mm-hmm. This is like the idea here, man. First timers, right? My first time was just 2 weeks ago. Just trying this thing. It's honestly That was a rare find. I love it. There's a lot of good whiskeys to talk about, a lot of good scotches to talk about. But at the end of the day, man, anytime you can try something new, if there's one of your bottles that you used to drink all the time and it's gone up in price, let us know. Put in the comments. And what's the bottle that you found, that rare find, that we should try instead? We would love to hear from you guys.
We love the diamonds in the rough.
Absolutely.
Yeah, those rare finds.
Guys, shall we call it?
No, I'm enjoying my stuff. But yeah, we can call it. Yeah.
Drink
All
up,
right, burn down.
Salud.